And the preacher boys around the world going out from this place. And the church is influenced from all over. I wish you could read the letters. I wish you could read the letters that I've gotten from pastor school preachers. One fellow wrote in and said, had 150 in Sunday school the Sunday I left. Had 450 in Sunday school last Sunday. Been less than a month and a half since pastor school. Letters like that all across the country. Churches transformed. I got a letter from a deacon and said, thank you from a new preacher. Said, we sent the old one and got a new one. Same fellow, but he's a new preacher. One fellow went back home and announced that he was resigning on Sunday morning to have a new pastor that night. He came back that night and preached the sermon I preached on, Behold, the Dreamer cometh. And he said, I'm the new pastor. The old one's dead now. I'm the new pastor. You know, the night the deacons met to draw the budget up and cut it in half, didn't seem like we might have that. It seemed like the ravens had come. But the ravens brought us what we needed to drive us to our faces before God and say, oh my God, I need you. I need you. I need you. The folks in the balcony who came because of curiosity, and I'm glad they're here. And but you know why a lot of people come, not necessarily them, but you know they've heard about Hyles. And they've heard about our church, many folks. And they know we're narrow-minded. We believe in boys getting haircuts and girls wearing skirts that are of decent length. We believe the dirty playboy philosophy is wicked, and I'm going to fight as long as I stand here. A high school gymnasium allowing playboy bunnies to come in and flaunt their bodies before the lustful eyes and minds of wicked men. And we're going to fight that kind of stuff. And word gets around. And people sometimes won't speak to me on the street. And sometimes they'll spit at me when I walk down the street. And God knows I love everybody. That's the truth. Honestly, God knows it whether you know it or not. I love everybody. There's not a person in the world I wouldn't help if you're in trouble. I don't think there's a person I wouldn't take my billfold and empty it for if he's in trouble. But folks wonder. And folks criticize, and sometimes they don't mean it. But the thing I'm supposed to do when the events of life come and the ravens come, there may be some innards sticking out of their mouth, or maybe some dirty flesh between their teeth, but it may be that they have for me bread and meat. Let me say this morning in closing, you beloved friends who wonder how God can meet your needs, you dear college students, you say, Brother Hyles, how can I pay my bill? How can I do it? God feed the ravens. I bet He'd feed you. God takes care of the ravens. I imagine God will take care of you. And then to you this morning who wonder, how can God use me? How can God... Little fellow about that high came to see me the other day, and he said, Brother Hyles, I can't even see over the pulpit, much less preach. And I'm supposed to be a preacher. What can I do? I said, just saw the pulpit in two and preach the devil out of the devil. And God can use you. Yes, He can. Yes, He can. Old Dr. Bob Jones Sr. used to say, God used a donkey once, He can do it again. And God can, and He will. And then to those of you this morning who've had bitter experiences, oh, your husband maybe has gone into liquor, or maybe you've got a son that's turned to dope, or maybe this morning your own body is reeking with cancer, or maybe this morning you've lost your job and it wasn't fair. You shouldn't have lost your job. We have some men in our church that work, and their boss said, go buy me some cigarettes. And our men wouldn't do it. They said, we'll work and we'll work, but we won't buy you any cigarettes. Well, I order you. Go buy me some cigarettes. And our men said, I'm sorry. We're sorry. We'll do anything you say, but we won't put cancer to your lips. And so as far as I know, they're losing their jobs because they won't buy cigarettes for the boss. And I think they did exactly what was right, and I'm for them 100%. I think the rest of you ought to take the same stand. But maybe you lost your job, or maybe the baby isn't well. Or maybe your wife waited for 9 long months. Maybe you waited for 9 long months. And when you walked, you couldn't walk. You waddled when you walked. And you wore these big dresses. Dr. Rice calls them hatching jackets. And you wore the hatching jacket. When you slept at night, you had to sleep on your back. And you looked like the pyramids of Egypt when you slept on your back. And you wanted watermelon at 2 o'clock in the morning and dill pickle at 3 o'clock in the morning. and you wanted an ice cream sundae with a pickle on top of it, and you couldn't nobody get along with you, and your face got all mottled, and you just looked out of sorts, and then soon the message came, and the pains began to get closer and closer and closer, and soon they're 5 minutes apart. And you said to your husband, "Wake up!" You know why I wake up? Because babies all come at 1 o'clock in the morning. Everybody knows that. Wake up! And the husband gets up, and you pack the suitcase already packed, and he gets in the car. He goes down the road 75 miles an hour in a 30-mile zone, and he sees that light behind him flashing, and the policeman, "Where are you going, to a fire?" You said, "No, it's my baby here. She's going to have a hospital." No. It's my hospital here. She's going to have a wife. Oh! And the policeman's a good man. He said, I understand. Follow me. And you went down to the hospital, and you labored, and in the agony and the throes of death, you went. And then you put something on your face, and you were unconscious for a while. And then the next thing you knew, you woke up in your room, and you reached over to feel the baby, but the baby wasn't there. And your husband had tears in his eyes, and the doctor came in and said, "You see, the cord was wrapped around his little neck, and well, it wouldn't probably have been normal anyway." And then it feels like your world is sinking beneath you when you stop and realize the baby is gone. And all the 9 months for nothing. And your arms that were supposed to be full are empty. Oh, listen to me. He maketh no mistake. He sends food by the raven's mouths. And though the bitter times come, and the sad times come, the lonely times come, and the hard times come, everything works together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to His purpose. Oh, He sendeth food by the mouth of ravens. Don't shrink back. Just stop and realize it all works together for good. It all works together for good. Oh, I can recall wondering why. I've had people ask me why. A little 13-year-old boy pointed to the corpse of his dad and said, "Brother Hyles, my daddy just died of a heart attack, 39 years old. Why?" I don't know why, but I know He maketh no mistakes. The lady looked at me and said, "My husband has a month to live, has cancer of the liver. Why?" I don't know why, but I know He maketh no mistakes. Oh, listen to me today. For 47 and a half years I've been living. And for almost 30 of those years, I've been a licensed gospel preacher. And for almost 25 of those years, I've been a Baptist preacher pastoring in Baptist churches. I've stood beside those who were dying. I've stood beside those whose loved ones were dying. I've stood beside little ladies who had babies that were a little corpse of a baby beneath them. I've seen it. But I still say, our Father, He knoweth all. He maketh no mistake. And if the raven is come, and if it's a little bitter pill to swallow, just remember, all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to His purpose. And so trust Him. Just trust Him. And Elijah looked up. And I think maybe Elijah, if I was been Elijah, here's what I'd have said. "Lord, feed me. Lord, feed me." I'd looked around to see if some deacon is coming up with some turnip greens or squash and okra. Or you Yankees, pizza and so forth. No deacon. "Lord, feed me!" All of a sudden I saw some birds coming in the sky. Hey, ravens. Wonder what's dead. Not me. Wonder what's dead. Hey, they got something in their mouths. The ravens come down. "You fellows come from the Lord?" And the Lord spoke to Elijah and said, "This is for you." And I'm sure Elijah said, "Fellows, you just not quite the servants I had in mind." But I thank God He provided for me. I think the Lord was simply saying this. I think the Lord was saying, "Elijah, you're the one who runs from Jezebel's. You're the one who runs and hides and thinks you're the only one left. You're not all you ought to be. But Elijah, if I can use these ravens to bring you food, I can use you to bring blessing and help to others." And He can, and He will. Thank God. For 25 blessed years, He's used a raven. And the pastor of the largest Sunday school in the world is a raven. And the author of 21 books, over 4 million copies been sold, is a raven. And the fellow who preaches on the Let's Go Soul Winning broadcast, conducts it on 70 stations, is a raven. And the fellow who leaves here every Monday and's gone to Wednesday and preaches across this country to 32,000 preachers last year is a raven. Thank God. I'm so glad God just doesn't use Brother Fist Robin Redbreast. I'm so glad God doesn't say, come on all you peacocks, I want to use you. I'm so glad God doesn't say, come on all you doves and pigeons, I want to use you. But God looks down to little Texas alcoholic's home and reaches out and touches a little poor little boy that's an introvert and starving half to death. And God says, hey, you little raven down there, I can use you too if you'll let me have you. And He can use you the same way.